the way we practice is the same way we do when we just go to the uppers. It's just really getting used to, carrying all the equipment around, moving around. We have the possibility that we could go live, when we're in the bubble. It's really not ideal for us. We'd rather be on the grass when we do that.
Going into the bubble, was that a little bit of a downer?
I mean, there's nothing we can do. I mean, the more we can stay outside, the better.
What is it about that bubble that seems to get the juices flowing?
Because it's not 113 degrees on the heat index. It's just, I mean, guys, they're not going to get as tired in there as they would outside. The heat drains them, and that's when you usually don't see too many tie-ups and things like that. Everybody's conserving energy for the next play. And when you get in there, these guys get riled up and it's festive.
Adam, when you guys signed Albert Wilson in the offseason, you came to an agreement with Danny Amendola the next day. What did you tell Albert about the situation he was coming into in regards to Danny also coming in?
Well, I mean, they play different positions, and when you have four guys like that, usually it works out the right way to where everybody's getting on the field, getting touches. We've really been working on developing the right plan for Albert because he does have a lot of different, a larger skill set than what most receivers have. And he did a lot in Kansas City. You go back and watch his college stuff. I mean, he did everything. And, we're going to keep working on finding the exact what his role is going to be, and I think that'll develop over, the duration of August. And once we kind of figure that out, then kind of how this rotation is going to go and when we're going to get, what group in there.
With Isaiah Ford, where is he in his development as a slot receiver?
I think he's done really well from when we started that first spring. He had a huge jump in training camp, then he gets injured. And I think he did a good job of staying on all the little details while he wasn't playing. And, in this spring, he came back. He had more knowledge than what he had before, so he was able to play faster. He had a better understanding of really how to get open in that position, how to use the defense's leverage against him, and made a lot of plays in the spring. And then now you see him, he's making plays, and, we just need to keep working on strengthening certain body parts and keep him healthy. And he's had a little bit of bad luck. It seems like he gets fallen on the wrong way sometimes on those deeper routes. Some of those linebackers kind of landed on him. So, but he's tough. He keeps going back out there. He wants to be a part of it, and he wants to do right.
So you see Albert Wilson as an outside receiver, not a slot?
Yeah, he's not a slot. That's the funny part.
You've been through a lot of training.
Nobody understands. I mean, it's a little frustrating.
I don't understand.
Yeah, he's an outside guy. You play inside, it's a different animal. You gotta have a special knack for it.
You've been through a lot of training camps. How do you know what's real? Like with the pass rush or the deep balls or a defensive end. How do you know it's real?
I mean, sometimes you can tell on tape of, there's a good chance he got this off or he wouldn't, and really when you get the receiver and DB going, you can tell. I mean, it's pretty, clear what's going on, and the O-line D-line battle, that's always the one you question, and really it's when you get into games that's when you really find out the answer.
That said, how would you describe what you saw from your defensive line today?
I mean, I feel like they're doing the same thing every day that they've been out there. They're attacking. There's great penetration. They're coming off the edge with, the get off is remarkable. I think Chris has done a really good job of getting those guys, for how hard they work in individual. You wouldn't be able to tell what they do in individual and then they transfer to the team drills because those guys just bring it. And then how they pursue the ball, get back to the line of scrimmage, go to the next play. I mean, there's a lot of energy exerted on one play, and then they just move on to the next one. He's developed those guys. That's a tough group. They're really trending in the right direction.
I was talking today about turning 30 and saying he feels like he's 25. Do you see him as a late bloomer?
I don't know if. I mean, he's had good seasons in the past. I mean, I don't even know how many times he's thrown for 4,000 yards. It seems like before I got here, there was a lot of positives that were going on. And I thought he did a good job in 16 and put us in position to win games, and really kind of he figured out what was best for us and how to manage the offense and play complementary football with the defense. And, last year we thought we were heading in the right direction, and then we lose him for the season. And now, he just seems to he keeps getting better. I guess I just look at 30 now, and it doesn't seem, for quarterbacks, it doesn't, how many guys we got at 39, 40, and they're MVPs of the league.
Adam, the last 2 days you worked with the wide receivers. What's that like for you, and how does it help?
I don't know. Every once in a while, I just try to get involved somewhere. For the most part, I try to stay away and let guys do their job. But every once in a while, it's fun for me to go over there. That's kind of where I got my start in Denver, and I always enjoyed that, and talk a little bit to those guys and try to get them going and gas them up a little bit. And so it's fun to do it.
It looks like Albert may have popped you on trying to break away at one time.
No, he tried to. It didn't work.
So, you need a backup slot behind Danny Amendola who is not named Albert Wilson.
Yeah, why are you so stuck on this?
Didn't he play slot for KC?
He played all over the place. He was everywhere. He played outside. He played inside. He played running back. He did a lot of stuff.
But
It's not that he can't play slot. He's really good outside.
What do you like about it?
But you don't see him as a slot.
It's a different spot for our offense.
What do you like about him out there?
I like his speed, the way he releases. He's strong. When you give him, when you give him locked routes and say, hey, this is what you're going with, he's good to go with it. Try not to, he's the one guy that's trying to learn all the ins and outs of the offense.
What have you learned about Xavier Howard over the last week?
I think he's coming along just really on pace with what he did first year to second year. Going into this year, you see his confidence is way up. He challenges everything. He's aggressive when he's pressing. I think, him going against those receivers is it pays off because those guys are, they can be tough, and he's not afraid to get physical with them. I think him and Devontae have some really good battles because, it really gets physical between those two guys. And, it seems like his ability to track the ball, he keeps finding ways to get better in that area. He's in on a lot of plays.
Adam, it's well documented that you're an offensive guy, and we know that you have no problem talking smack to the defense. So you notice when guys emulating your style when the offense talking smack to the defense and all the complications that happen today?
I don't know. Is anybody talking?
No, they know better than this stuff like that.
I think they pick their battles. I think some guys, everybody's got a different personality. For me, it's, I don't get a lot of interaction with the defensive guys until we get to practice, and, I don't always start it. I'm just reacting sometimes.
Do you like what you've seen in the intensity of Amendola going against McCain?
Oh, yeah. That's fun to watch. Those two guys going again, they're making each other better because they compete every snap. And really that's what we're looking for is those, outside guys and the inside guys. We're looking for those guys to compete, and they'll find, if one guy might have a really good day one day, and then the next, Bobby's got to come back the next day if Danny had a good day. And I think we just keep seeing a back and forth there.
Guys, good? All right, thank you.
Albert Wilson in the slot.
What did that point start?
Salad in there, some chicken breasts. I think there's some. I don't know what else they had in there. Some zucchini. No, I didn't get the salmon. Some zucchini, whatever. But it's at this point it's a lifestyle. I don't even look forward anymore.
What's the worst thing you ate, Cam? Just like one thing. The worst thing. It might be that you ate lettuce or something, but what is the
Worst thing I ate.
The thing you're ashamed to admit to us.
I'm not ashamed. I had some wildebeest.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if that's. Yeah, I would assume they're probably fatty.
Yeah, Snickers bar?
I'm not a chocolate guy.
During the football, it seemed as though pass rush, certainly since the pads have come on, has been maybe what was expected last year. I mean, do you feel like you guys are ahead this year of where you were last?
I mean, I'd like to hope so. You know, I think. I mean, obviously this game is played with pads, and as a defensive guy, when you are allowed to kind of do everything that you are supposed to do when you play football, you know, it changes the dynamic versus when you have on t-shirt and shorts. You can't do a lot of things because it's kind of frowned upon. But now I said you can power guys, you can, you know, shake and bowl, you can do a lot of different things. So, you know, they are at a little bit more of a they have to do what they're supposed to do. When normally, like I said, when they are in t-shirts and shorts, it takes away from some of the things that we can do, and it changes the game. But it's probably a little bit of a learning curve getting back into it. We've been in shorts since April 20, whatever. And, you know, on the offensive side of the ball, I'm expecting them to pick it up as well. We have some work to do on our side, you know, as far as communication and, you know, make sure everybody's on the same page. But obviously Coach Kasurek is very, very adamant about, you know, getting to the quarterback. And, you know, I think we go out there every day trying to make sure we live up to his standard.
Do you have a sense, speaking of Coach Sir, because we've heard all along that he likes rotation, he likes waves of defensive linemen. Do you get a sense of how much that means for you, how much different this year might be than for last year?
It's hard to tell now. You know, I think, again, he's a guy, obviously, who, you know, takes care of veteran players. I would hope he's knows more or less what I can do, but at the same time, you got to get ready for games. And so is practice going to be a direct reflection of how it's going to be on Sunday? Maybe not. When you're out there, you got to get out there. You got to make plays. You're expected to be in the game when, you know, situations call for it. But at the same time, you know, you don't have to unnecessarily beat, you know, yourself down if it's not necessary, especially in days like this. But, you know, I'm a guy who likes to go out there and get after it. We've had many talks, and I think we're on the same page as far as, you know, how much is too much, and you know, when to tone it down and when to turn it up. But you know, again, it's always a lot of fun when you have to dial it down versus dial it up.
Do you believe that you need a certain amount of snaps in a game to set up the offensive tackle to find a rhythm and a pulse to the game, or do you think that you can do it on any play?
I mean, you have to be ready, you know, when your number's called. But you know, again, I like to be in there to get in the flow. To, like I said, like maybe it's a play where you do set up a play for later. And again, I don't think that's going to be a problem with speaking with Coach. That you know, if I want to be in there, I can't see him saying no.
Ken, when you look at the pass rush, do you ever know coming out of camp that it's in a good place, or does it take the regular season to know that it's in a good place?
You have a sense. I mean, this is always, I think, especially when you put the pads on. I mean, this is football. You're playing pads, and you can't hide. And I don't care if it's running backs, linebackers, DBs. At some point, you're going to get exposed if you're that kind of guy. Now, I look in our room, and I see guys who, you know, they're that kind of guy who has a mentality going in there and throwing their nose in the fire. So I don't think that's an issue. But at the same time, you know, pass rush is not necessarily, you know, individual effort kind of thing. You need the entire group to work together, and that's the things that you work on every day, building, you know, communication, timing, you know, all those certain things, because we all got to work together to create, you know, one single pass rush. One guy can't win and just say, all right, you know, I'm going to take care of it for everybody. It doesn't really work that way. So as far as knowing where we are, I know the kind of guys we have, and I know, you know, there are no sheep in that room. But at the same time, you know, we got to hunt together as a pack, and that's what we're working on today and tomorrow and the day after that.
Sorry, to follow up on your thought, how would you describe how well the defensive line group worked together last season?
It's probably water under the bridge at this point. We didn't reach the goals we wanted to as a team, so to me, as a D-line, it didn't matter what we did. or didn't do. I mean, there's probably some teams who had great seasons as a D-line and didn't go where they wanted to, and it's probably vice versa. I'd rather win together, and I don't focus on that anymore.
You spend a little time in the training room, Cam. Were you around Ryan enough to get a sense of his approach to his rehab?
Are you talking about when I was injured?
Well, no, just in this last year.
Oh, I don't go in the training room. I stay out of there. It's
Did you have any conversations with him about
I've spoken with him since he's been around, and I think, I mean, if you look at him today and you see, the way he's approached the game, the way he's been playing, all the things, I'm out there again chasing him every chance I get. Obviously, he did what he's supposed to do. It's always tough when you got to step away from the game for whatever reason, and I know it was probably just as difficult for him as any of us. But I know, even speaking to him, that he wanted nothing more than get back on the field and do everything he could to get back on the field. And I think now is the time to go in and like you say, reap what you sow. So the reaping has begun for him, and I'm happy for him.
Cam, you played with a bunch of different defensive ends lining up at the opposite spot. As you think back, how has who's been opposite you impacted how you are blocked, as far as one lineman, possibly two? Like, for example, was there much of a difference the year you played opposite JT than maybe some other years? And could that work to your advantage this year if Quinn gets back to what he was?
I think it's in essence it's true, but I think the way offenses can kind of scheme up ends is a little different than if it was a three technique or some other variation of pass rusher. So I mean, I've seen all kinds of different looks as far as blocking schemes and chips and guards clearing pockets and things like that. But I think when you have multiple guys, it doesn't matter if it's end or not. If there's a three technique on the backside who's doing a great job, you have to account for that. However they do it, that's, again, offensive coordinator questions, and there's probably multiple different ways. But I think, to give you a general answer, yes, it would be greatly beneficial to everybody involved, me included, to have multiple guys who can cause problems for the offense as far as pass rush goes. So there's only so many guys you can put back there, and if they're double teaming two guys and the other two guys got to win, whoever that may be. And if they're not, then again, still you got to win. So.
And your first reaction when you heard the Quinn pickup, obviously in his prime defensive end who had 19 sacks one year, your reaction was what?
Round of applause. The more help, the more the merrier. I've never been one to, I want to win, and however many people we can get that's going to help that happen, bring them on.
Coach Gase, pretty intense guy when you bring out on the field. His personality, what's that like for you guys to deal with in the room? Is it kind of fun at times, or enjoy it?
I personally, I love it. I think, again, this is it's a man's game, and there's no room for softness, especially the D-line. This is not, it's not quarterbacks. This is not, receivers. You got to go in there and you got to put your hands on somebody, play in and play out. You have to impose your will, play in and play out. And if there's any chink in the armor, you probably are going to get weeded out of that room. So, he's a guy, old school, hard-nosed. He's demanding. He doesn't bite his tongue. He tells you how it is. And as a man, you got to be able to take it. I'd rather hear the truth. And then, around the world of football, sometimes coaches will pat you on the back and go upstairs and tell, the upper level guys that, he's terrible. Tell me to my face I'm terrible, and let me figure out how to fix it. And if you can't take that to your face, then I probably don't want you in my room anyway.
Is his voice going to make it through?
No, it's already taking a hit. So he's gonna have to get some tea or some honey or whatever you guys drink.
Cam, any of the young D linemen stand out to you so far?
I actually think Charles Harris has probably had the best offseason maybe of not just any D lineman, but probably anybody on our team. I mean, he came back in tremendous shape. He's obviously been working on his strength. He's been working on his football. It's showing up on tape. And I think that's going to definitely pay off when it comes time to put these live bullets and go out there and get after the quarterback. So he's made great strides, and obviously the more the merrier. I'm happy for it.
Thank you very much.
Yep.